A Premier League clash between two Titanic football clubs, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Let us take a look at what exactly transpired in this highly anticipated football match, Manchester United being the red and Arsenal being the blue. Manchester United approached the game in a 3-4-3 formation, and this is how they looked to play the game out. During build-up, Manchester United would have two players deep and four players higher up, forming a back two for build-up shape. It seemed as though the main objective of this build-up shape was to have as few numbers deep as possible to increase the team's probability of having successful attacks. They would opt to have a very technical player in Bruno Fernandes drop deep and assist in build-up. This would either create one of two things from Arsenal. Either they would sit off the press and allow Manchester United to build up, or they would look to close off space and potential passing lanes into the center where Bruno Fernandes would be occupying, forcing Manchester United to go long. Arsenal chose to compact the center of the pitch, adapting a zonal man-marking approach. Manchester United would then adapt to this and play long balls forward or build up out wide whenever space would allow. This is where we would get an idea of how United looked to tactically approach this game. United played with two attacking wingers who inverted and played in the half spaces, and centrally they had an attacking midfielder in Mason Mount. These three players were more than comfortable rotating amongst themselves, and more often than not this is where United were able to create most of their deadly counter-attacks. Primarily, however, United looked to attack down the right-hand side where Bryan Mbeumo occupied. Arsenal were having a very difficult time defending the half spaces in this game, as they would push upfield and have low numbers to cover the spaces in behind and between the players. This was also made worse by the fact that United looked to overlap both fullbacks in this game, meaning whenever Arsenal were caught on the transition, they would now have to deal with the half space threat and wide space threat, doing so with few numbers. United, however, were not flawless in their attack. For the most part, United would be able to penetrate the final third, but it was the opposition's 18-yard box that gave them issues. Not having a definitive number 9 on the pitch meant that there was little to no central presence from the team, leading to most of United's potentially big chances either not manifesting or being executed correctly. Arsenal approached the game in a 4-3-3 shape. That would mainly during build-up have Ricardo Calafiori invert alongside Martin Zubimendi, whilst Ben White would form a back three with the two centre-backs. United's initial lines of press were not as aggressive and as well orchestrated as Arsenal's was, so Arsenal were able to build relatively easily. Upfield, Arsenal would be able to create really good chances out wide, especially down the left-hand side where Ricardo Calafiori would overlap or underlap in the game. Even on the right-hand side, we would, although very rarely, see Ben White bomb down the right-hand side and assist Saka in attacking that area of the pitch. Arsenal's attack did seem a bit flat at times, and this was mainly due to the fact that they struggled to get Victor Gyökeres heavily involved in the United 18-yard box. As a matter of fact, he would mainly play one-two passes and had little to no effect on the game. This killed off Arsenal's attack at times, as he was the focal point. Not having him threaten United's goal had quite costly effects on the team. This was also not helped by the fact that United were really good in making their recovery runs after they had lost possession high up the pitch. They would oftentimes recover in a back three. Arsenal would at times attack in a 2 or 3 front line, meaning United would go man for man and nullify the attack. In this game, United were the better team, as they were able to well manage Arsenal defensively as well orchestrate their attack upfield. The only issue with their attack, however, was the fact that they did not have a definitive number 9, which led to many of their promising attacks to fall away. Arsenal, on the other hand, struggled to get Victor Gyökeres fully involved in the game. Not only this, but defensively, especially whenever they were faced with a counter-attack, they did seem incredibly vulnerable, as United were able to fluently and effectively exploit these pockets of space. Final score: Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1.